Good evening, everyone. Earl Campbell here from Eastern Shore Undercover. And tonight we're going to come to you with a video kind of answering a question that keeps getting tossed around here, more so here lately in the last couple of weeks. And that is, why does Eastern Shore Undercover show so much support for Wicomico County Executive Julie Giordano? One of the things that keeps getting asked is if I knew the county executive before she took office, and, you know, what was my relationship prior to her becoming the Wicomico County executive. And the truth be told, I had no idea who she was. I knew she was a teacher. I knew that she'd be running for county executive. And that was really it. There were a couple people that came to me and said, hey, have you met this lady, Julie Giordano? She sounds really good. What's your thoughts on her? And I really had no idea. I never really sat down and talked to her. I never really got to know her prior to probably May. I'm guessing May of 2022. I just didn't know her. If you remember going back to when we first started the page, and the first couple of years, we didn't really get involved in politics, and it was just nowhere in my arsenal did I ever want to be involved in politics. But there were some things that were coming down the line that we just didn't agree with. And I figured on the local level, it was more important now more than ever. And then at the time, it was very important. So we made the decision that we were going to get involved with some of the local politics and some of the local elections that were coming up. And we supported some various different people in the 2022 election. We got involved in the state's attorney's race, the sheriff's race in Worcester County, and then the Wicomico County Council and the Wicomico County Executive's position. One of the first endorsements that we gave out was actually one of the easiest ones, and that was Julie Giordano. We basically got to meet her, and it was like everywhere we went, it didn't matter what the event was, she was there. And every week we heard from people that said, hey, this lady came to our door, and we were getting messages saying, hey, this lady came to our door, knocking at our door. And it was everywhere. It wasn't just one little area. It was literally everywhere in the county. And I don't know. I don't have one of them little, widgets on her. Or I don't know if she tracked her steps, but that lady had to put in thousands upon thousands of steps, going door to door, knocking on people's doors and getting to meet people. And I really respect that. I kind of feel like she earned her position by going out and getting to meet the community, and not just relying on, local businesses. Who we see this all the time in local politics. They will, throw out, endorsements, and they may help, they may not. I really don't know. But with County Executive Giordano, she got out there and, she put the shoe leather to the ground. And she really earned it. I mean, if you speak to anybody, she was out from Hebron to Willards to Pittsville and everywhere in between. Mardella. This lady was everywhere. Delmar. I don't think there was any place that she didn't go. And we were at the Pittsville event, and I knew Sean McHugh from Ocean City. We were police officers together, and I went down to see him, and I got to meet Chief of Police Bob Harris and County Executive Giordano just happened to be there. So I think, Sean introduced me to Bob, and then County Executive was there, and we made a joke about, we were at events, we didn't know each other, and introduced each other, and then that was it. It was very brief. I remember it was very short, to the point. She was very nice. We heard her talk a little bit, and she was really, really, really composed. Like I said, she was a very good speaker. And she impressed us. I mean, she really did, right from the very beginning. I like to think that I'm a good judge of character. if you ask any police officer or sheriff's deputy or state trooper, they'll tell you that they can weed out bullcrap. It's just a talent that comes with the job. And I didn't get any bad vibes when it came to Julie Giordano. I felt that she was true to what she was saying. I felt that she was devoted to winning this position. And I thought she was going to be good for Wicomico County. So then, as I did with most of the endorsements, I reached out to the people that it's going to affect the most. I reached out to some people in the sheriff's department. I've reached out to some people that are county workers. And I asked everybody, what do you think about this whole county executive position? And everybody kept saying the same thing. It all kept coming back, Julie, 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 Julie. So we finally, I don't remember where it was at. We sat down and we were at an event and we were talking. I remember we got into the car and my wife and I were leaving. I put my cameras, because I was taking pictures at an event. I put my cameras in the back seat and I got up front and I sat down and started the car up. And we both looked at each other and we said, she's right for the county. And I said, yep. And that was where I came up with my endorsement. Again, I like to think I'm a good judgment of character, and she won me over. Once I had made up my mind that we were going to endorse her, we went public with it on June 2nd. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I told her that we were going to do it. I just thought that it was the right thing to do. I thought she was right for the county. And we endorsed her on June 2nd, 2022. I'll put the little picture here for you. So, of course, after we endorsed her, go through the election, and, she wins the primary, the general election, the whole 9 yards. And as soon as she took office, she never stopped. She was a go-getter before the election, and she was just as much of a go-getter after she got in. So she's in office. She's doing her thing. And I'll direct you guys to February 9th, 2023. That's a post that I put up, and the post is headline, "Pat yourselves on the back. You got this one right, Wicomico County." And this was nothing more than me just saying, hey, we got this one right. Many times in life, when you're doing these elections, you vote somebody into office, and it's like, oh my God, it's terrible. They're not doing what they said they were going to do. They change. And that wasn't the case with Julie. From the time she took office, right on through, she just work. Many people have heard me say this. She's one of the hardest working women I've ever been around. Keep in mind, I've worked in the UFC. I've worked in the Major League Baseball. I've worked major events across the country. And I will say this without any reservations, she is one of the hardest working people, not just women, that I've ever been around. From the time she's out, knocking on doors, trying to earn your confidence, to getting in the office and working, she's a go-getter. So again, one of the main things is that she followed through with all of her promises. And that's unlike any other politician that I know of here on the Eastern Shore. Just to go into a few of them, I'm going to put this little, chart that I made to show you guys some of the things that she has done that I know of. I got these off of her Wicomico County Executive's Facebook page. So this all can be looked at on there, or you can look at it in a chart, or there's various different ways of looking at it. So let's go over a few of these things that she did do that are on this chart. So the first thing I want to cover is the accidental disability for Wicomico County deputies. Now this was very near and dear to my heart because there were some actual friends of mine who this did affect. For those that don't know, Wicomico County deputies were expected to pay back an extraordinary amount of money if they were injured in the line of duty, which was the workman's comp. County Executive Giordano immediately got working on this. As soon as she took office, she fought for what was right. She fought for Wicomico County Sheriff's deputies and made good on a promise to fix this issue that she made prior to getting elected by the voters of Wicomico County. She didn't just say she was going to do it. She did it, and she met some roadblocks along the way. You know, there's a lot of stories that I can tell you about this with some of the council members, but neither here nor there. She hit some bumps in the road, but she never stopped fighting for it, and she got it done. She got it approved. The deputies loved her for that, because she didn't just do what others have said. You know, hey, I'm going to say I'm going to do this and not do it. She said she would do it, and she did it. The next thing is the sanitary district bill. You know, this had been talked about for probably 50 plus years. There was no county or sewer service in Wicomico County. With the help of some state leaders, the county executive pushed for and got Senate Bill 246 passed to start the process of a sanitary district and commission in the county. And that was in October of 2023. You know, many people had tried and failed. And like I said, you know, if you go back and look, this was talked about for probably 50 years. And she takes office in, December of 2022? And by October of 2023, she got it done. You know, now granted, she had help from, you know, the state leaders and, you know, the people that her connections. But the fact is, under her leadership, it got done. Next, I want to talk about House Bill 1340. And many of you guys see myself and Miss Eastern Shore Undercover out several days a week, eating at the local restaurants and establishments here in the area, mainly in Wicomico County because that's where we live. So I can tell you firsthand that these local business owners absolutely love the fact that she went to work for them and got this passed. Basically, House Bill 1340 repealed the monopoly on the liquor board in Wicomico County. Local Wicomico County businesses were obligated to purchase their liquor from the Wicomico County dispensary, which regulated the prices. So for, you know, Johnny Joe's business, you know, he was paying a set standard. He couldn't get the liquor from other places, which just wasn't fair. County Executive Giordano made a promise that she was going to get to work on this, and she was going to try to get this monopoly repealed, and she did it. You know, she went to work. She used her, you know, connections in Annapolis and the local area, and she followed through with it with the assistance of the state leaders, and she got it repealed. So her connections from being the county executive are helping us here in Wicomico County, because she has strong connections throughout the state, but especially in Annapolis. So not only does she have the connections with the state level, but also the municipalities. Keep in mind, she has completely changed the working environment between the county and the municipalities. There's been issues for years, going back long before she took office. And she's finally getting that worked out to where, you know, she made it a priority to work with the municipalities, not against them. They now work together, come to reasonable agreements to benefit everyone in Wicomico County. And that's so important. You know, I was speaking to, and I'm not going to give any names out, but I was speaking to somebody that works in the municipalities, and they said it's just totally night and day now versus when it was prior to Julie taking office. So another thing we can talk about is she brought back department head meetings. Prior to her taking office, there were no department head meetings. Basically, you know, in layman terms, the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. They now have scheduled department meetings, or department head meetings, I should say, so that they can collaborate and work together on various projects, and everyone knows what each other is doing. Next up, I want to talk about employee morale. She has started the Employee of the Month program, and I gotta tell you, like this is pretty cool. Like she posts all the pictures, and we'll see the public works get a little bit of recognition, and we'll see corrections get a little bit of recognition. She goes around to the sheriff's department, and 911 centers, and public works and roads, and she's out there recognizing these hardworking men and women who are serving the citizens in Wicomico County. I just realized I skipped one, and that's the Verizon building. She worked with to purchase the Verizon building for the health department, so that now they can be kind of a sort of a centralized hub. It's always been an issue with the size and the location and the parking, and this will hopefully put all those services in one centralized location to make it easier for people that are in need and whatever they may need at the time, so they don't have to go to 3 different places, find parking, find transportation. This will hopefully alleviate a lot of those issues. So the next thing I want to talk about is what has earned my respect and for her, and that's her ability to stand up to this council. This is an ongoing issue, whether it's hiring of her own staff, whether it's different bill or different resolutions, whether it's lawsuits. It's constantly an issue. Last week we had the budget council meeting, and during those meetings we saw that they shot down the collective bargaining, they shot down the fire department, they're doing all this stuff. Anything that has a Julie Giordano stamp on it, denied. And here today, it come to light. Salisbury Fire Department made a post. They tagged us in it. We shared it. That's kind of blowing up. I encourage you to go take a look at that. It's the last post on the page. There was some budgetary agreements that were made, and then it gets to the council, and then they cut it. So I don't know what will happen with that. It's kind of scary on one hand to think that, not for me, I live in Delmar, but for the people that live close to Salisbury, it's definitely a little concerning. If you're right on the outskirts, one of the guys that's used Old Ocean City Road as an example. If you live on them outskirts and Salisbury doesn't respond anymore to the areas outside of the city, well, that could be a major issue for someone. And I would hate for it to come to that. Hopefully there's some wiggle room, or there's something that can be done. I'll tell you this. One thing I've learned about Julie is the fact that she's a very reasonable person, and she finds ways to get things done. Perfect example. With the original fire department budget, they were asking for $53,000. She came back and found a way to get them $75,000, which was more than what they were asking for. But of course, that initially got shot down from the council, and then 24 hours later it was approved because they wanted to be able to wave their holy whatever it's called, a gavel, and say that they had a part of it and they were going to approve it. They wanted to approve it. Well, they should have approved it the first time. So I'm not sure what will happen with that. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what will happen with the collective bargaining agreement. Hopefully that all gets worked out, and there's some kind of a resolution that can happen here. But here's the most important thing. Julie worked for everybody. I reached out this weekend and I was talking to some different people and just getting a feeling for how the working relationship is with Julie, with the staff, and some of the responses that I got were just amazing. So I'm going to read you guys a couple of statements that I got from some of the Wicomico County workers and the staff. just so that you guys have an idea of what the staff thinks about her. So this one in particular says, Executive Giordano in a short period of time has fixed so many problems in Wicomico County that the council has either created or neglected over the last decade or more. Another totally separate employee, who will remain anonymous, says, I don't care about gender, race, or beliefs. I just know that we need Julie. She is what we have needed for a very long time. I'll give you one more. Miss Julie Giordano is a leader, not a boss. Her continuous strength against adversity and protecting what is in the best interest of the county, its constituents, and employees is unwavered by the difficulties and roadblocks some may attempt to place in her path. She works tirelessly every day, including evenings and weekends. Her respect for employees doesn't vary by position, as she treats everyone with kindness, respect, and an open-door policy. It is rewarding to go to work and know that a leader is moving the county in a positive direction, making leaps and bounds in almost every area possible. Her stoic, yet firm beliefs continue to guide us all to a better future while remaining positive with morale and our positions. So basically, that's why we support Julie Giordano. We think she is not only good for Wicomico County, but we think she's what Wicomico County needs. Anyone that has watched this council over the last, 16 months or however long it's been since they've taken office, has just seen an absolute debacle. It's an absolute embarrassment. It's frustrating to me, to many people that watch from the sidelines, to see how they're acting, to see what they're doing. And Executive Giordano is kind of she's the checks and balances to keep the council from just doing absolutely insane things. So their latest charade by the Wicomico County Council is now they're going to try to get rid of this position. And, it's funny, we talked about this in our very first video. We said that if they can't beat her, they got to get rid of her. They need the power. They need to be in control. And while she's in that position, they don't have that ability. And that's unfortunate, because I do think that had this council not been so hell-bent on making her life miserable, and I firmly believe that if they wouldn't have been made this such a personal issue, that a lot of good things could have come out, and a lot of good things could happen here in Wicomico County. So what's next? Well, on Tuesday, there is a very, very important council meeting. This meeting is probably the most important council meeting that we've had to date since we've had Eastern Shore Undercover. Tuesday, June 4th, at 6 o'clock. It's the council meeting. Now, pay attention. This council meeting is not going to be at the government office building on North Division Street, where it normally is held. This meeting is going to be at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center at the Flanders Room over in Salisbury, Maryland, right off of Glen Avenue. The last time we had a council meeting, it was early in the morning. Not a lot of people could wait around. It got dragged out for several hours. Thankfully, I'm going to put the agenda here. As you can see, it's one of the first things on the agenda. So hopefully, a lot of people will come out. I hope you all will consider showing up. You have 3 minutes to talk, but you don't have to use all 3 minutes. You can literally walk up there and say, I agree, I disagree, but let your voice be heard. this, I cannot say this enough. This council meeting, this council needs to hear from the public. They need to hear from the citizens of Wicomico County why we want this position. Or if you're against it, by all means, express your opinion that way as well. But I think the overwhelming majority of people will agree that we don't want to turn over this power to the Wicomico County Council. I made mention the last time we were at the council meeting that, how often are we going to have to go through this? We went through this a couple years ago. Now they want to put it on there again. If they don't get what they want this time, will they wait 4 years and try it again? How often is it going to happen? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of taxpayer money. We don't need to go through all this. This is ridiculous. There's a lot of stuff that needs to get done in Wicomico County, and this isn't one of them. The voters have voted. The voters said we want the county executive form of government. Let's move on. So that's all I really have for tonight for this video. I hope that explains why we are so supportive of our county executive, Julie Giordano. We think she's doing amazing things in this county. We think that she has taken us and putting us on the right path. However, there's so many speed bumps that are being tossed out there from the county council that's made it very difficult. But we're going to continue to support her, and we believe that this county will also show up and will show support for not only the position but also for County Executive Giordano. That's all we got. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this answers any questions, and if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to get back to you on them. Again, Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, at 6 p.m. in the Flanders Room at the Wicomico County Youth and Civic Center. I hope to see everyone out there. Again, you don't have to speak long. Just speak from the heart and tell this council what you think. And that's all I have. Thank you, folks.